There is a fishing sport that is literally sweeping the country. It's a niche sport. It's fishing for some of the biggest fish that swim anywhere in fresh water in our Southwest and Southeast regions. On today's show, we're going to be joined by Mike Littlejohn, who guides for some big, giant fish and will tell you what they are and show you how to catch them, because Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. And as we mentioned, we are set up right now to go fishing for one of the most incredible sport fish that I've ever fished for in my entire life, and I've done a lot of stuff. So to help us talk about it right now, we've got Mike Littlejohn here with us. He guides every day out here, but in the wintertime, Mike, you guys stop everything else down for the most part. No stripers, no hybrids, no white bass. It's all about the Wiley Trophy blue catfish. This sport is sweeping the country. Why is that, Mike?
Well, I think people see these pictures of these giant blue catfish and they think, okay, these fish are being caught on jug lines and they're being caught on trot lines, just like their grandfathers or their dads did. And all of a sudden, they look a little deeper into the picture and they realize these fish are being caught on rod and reel.
Wow.
And when people realize they can catch a 50, a 60, 100-pound fish on rod and reel, they think, hey, I gotta go get a piece of this action.
Wow. Now we're coming to you from Lake Tawakoni, Texas, over in East Central Texas.
This lake is special. It's special for all the species that are in the lake. Hybrids grow bigger here, the crappie grow big, and the blue catfish, really for whatever reason, Barry, grow giant here.
Wow.
The lake record is 87.5 pounds. This lake is, I don't know if it's something in the water, but this lake produces giant blue catfish and tons of them.
Anywhere you'd like to go try to catch one of these big trophy blue catfish, we're going to give you some information that'll help you do it on your local lake, river, or whatever body of water you fish near you. And we're giving you all the fishing reports from this week from around your local region. Right now, we're getting 2 boats out onto the lake. Next time you see us, we'll be out there fishing. Right now, it's time for this week's Weekend Planner.
According to the Salooner tables, the last weekend of the winter season will likely showcase fair fishing conditions, with peak times taking place roughly around the dawn and dusk hours. Expect the sun to rise at 7:33 and set at 7:38. And evenings will feature a moon that is 68% visible. We'll be right back with fishing reports from around the area, and we'll talk about jig fishing on this week's Ask the Pro. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than a boat, it's a tracker. Mercury Marine, go boldly. Lowrance Electronics, celebrating 60 years of fish finding excellence. Find, navigate, dominate. And Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there.
Mike, what do you got over there, buddy?
Well, it looks like we've got about a 25-pound blue cat.
Hey everybody, we've made it out on the lake since the last time you saw us at the dock. We're positioned on Lake Tawakoni in East Central Texas, fishing for big blue catfish, and immediately there's one on. Now that is Mike Littlejohn's wife, Terry, and she has hooked up with what looks to be a pretty good fish. You can see it coming in right behind the boat there. And Mike, what do you got over there, buddy?
Well, it looks like we've got about a 25-pound blue cat.
Okay, it's a good way to get it started right here.
Yep, not a bad fish at all.
But there, they got it in a net and got the first fish aboard. So now we've got a fish.
It's going to go about 25 pounds or so.
You use a circle hook and it hooks him right in the lip, right?
Yeah, it got him right in the fat part of the mouth there. Not a bad.
There is what a blue catfish looks like. Now, Mike, these fish are real predators out here. They're kind of the top of the food chain, right?
They're the apex fish out here. There's nothing out here once this fish reaches this size that's going to eat a fish like this.
Really?
Yeah, that's
and he can eat a big bait of some kind too.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think, on days we try to weed these fish off, this is a good 25-pound fish. A lot of times you're looking for a 50 or 60 and you'll use baits, giant baits, almost as big as this fish's head, and a fish like this will still eat that size bait.
Wow.
So they're gorging.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
great fish.
You release all your trophies, right?
Yeah, anything over about 10 pounds, we're gonna put a scale on this one real quick,
Yep.
see how big it is, and then we're gonna let it go.
Even a fish that size, 20, 25-pound blue cat, puts up a great fight. We've got 9 rods out. You can see I've got rod holders here. I've got 2 rods up here in the front, and I'll show you all this setup toward the end on the Academy Right stuff, but the gear is very critical to this style of fishing. We've got them all out in rod holders, got a good spread, and obviously are in an area where there's some fish. We're in about 45 feet of water out here, real deep in the wintertime, which is where they all go. All right, let's watch this release. Let's get you started with some fishing and lake reports this week from where you live.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Louisiana Outdoor Report. Talking Louisiana, talking saltwater fishing right now. Had the pleasure of Elias Hadamus bringing a group down for a bachelor party this week. Elias, we had 4 boats, we all went out. What'd you think about it?
Oh man, we hammered it. It was awesome.
I tell you what, right now it's a little bit springtime pattern. You've got some warm with the little fronts coming through. Our boat went out and targeted redfish and flounder. I tell you what, we caught a lot of redfish, a lot of flounder today, had a few nice trout. The other boats, they mainly went after trout. They were throwing 1/8 and 1/4 ounce Rockport Rattler jig heads with soft plastic, working drop-offs or oyster reefs. Tell you what, the redfish, we caught most of those on the same size jig heads, but we were throwing gulp and the same thing for the flounder. The whole Louisiana coast right now, saltwater fishing is picking off. It's gonna be an early year if we don't get too much rain. So I tell you what, y'all need to get out on the water. For Old Cajun Phil, I'm Captain Kevin Broussard saying happy fishing. May God bless, and we'll see you next week.
All right, way to go. Fish on. Hey everybody, welcome back to the lake. We're out blue cat fishing today. Trophy fish out here. We're fishing on Lake Tawakoni, but these techniques will work anywhere that you are. This is Mike and Terry Littlejohn who guide every day for these fish out here. They actually guide separately from each other.
Oh yeah.
Good fish right there. So they got it in the net so that we can get a look at it.
Looks like we've got one that's gonna go close to 30.
Yeah. There is what a good blue cat looks like right there. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Call them high fin blues.
31 pounds.
31 pounds, all right. So
Yeah.
turn him a little bit more sideways. Hold him up if you can. Give the folks a really good shot of this fish right here. That's what a good one looks like there. So again, that's not one of your trophies, but well, to a lot of folks, that's a trophy fish of a lifetime right there.
Absolutely. Most people have never caught a catfish this big on rod and reel.
Wow.
So
Lots of them get caught on trot lines and jug lines and that kind of
Right.
thing, but to do it by hand on a rod and reel is really
and
the
you can
deal.
see Terry it was giving her a good run for her money there on that rod and reel. That's a lot of fun. That's what this is all about, is getting out, catching these big fish on rod and reel. It just doesn't get much better than that.
Awesome, fantastic. Well, I'll tell you, there's just a lot more to this blue catfishing, targeting these big trophy blue catfish than what most people think. Most people think of catfishing as, you know, setting a pole out in the mud, sitting on the shore in a lawn chair, drinking a beer, and watching a bobber. And this is very highly technical. They find a lot of these fish on side imaging, and they'll literally target 1 or 2 fish in an area, and they're targeting just the big ones, and they can tell the difference between the little box fish, the 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 pounders, and the big 25, 30 pound plus trophy blue catfish like we're fishing for today. A lot of fun. Talk about it some more. Right now though, let's get you some more fishing and lake reports from where you live, and let's watch this fish get released right back into the water as we're going.
That's awesome.
Hey, as is typical this time of year, it can be more about what you're doing to catch those bass versus where you're going to catch fish. Now, Gary Rowe of Fort Gibson Lake tells me he's having really good success right now on Fort Gibson Lake, swimming a jig, 2 to 6 foot of water along the windy, rocky shorelines. He says those bass are in there feeding on crawdads. I agree with him on that, and I think that's also why I'm hearing some really good reports on spinner baits and shallow running crankbaits fishing the same type of areas. All 3 of those lures work really well in windy conditions. They all imitate a nice representation of crawfish in and around those rocks. You can catch them on those type of baits pretty much any place across the state right now. Of course, a lot of us are also waiting for those white bass to come in big numbers to the upper end of the creeks. Hadn't really happened yet. We've had some movement, but they don't stand there for long and they're right back out again. The bigger numbers and some nice quality fish can be caught out in the deeper parts of those creek and river channels. About 20, 25 foot of water, you'll catch them about 12 to 15 feet deep. A good way to do that is trolling a shad rap. And at number 5, number 6 shad rap, you're going to catch some of those white bass in the staging areas. There has been some success casting along those deeper stretches of those creeks and riverbanks. A good option for that is the Bobby Garland swimming minnow in bluegrass color in a 3/16 ounce jig head. But again, it won't be long until we get those water temperatures stabilized, the white bass in big numbers in the shallows, and man, that's a lot of fun. We all look forward to that. Springtime in Oklahoma, you got some wind to deal with it. Be safe on the water, wear those life jackets, and remember, you can't catch them if you don't go.
Hey everybody, we're still out talking about blue catfishing for big giant trophy blue catfish today. We're on Lake Tawakoni out drifting in real deep water, got 9 rods out, and we're with Mike Littlejohn and his wife Terry, who are out showing us the ropes today. And Mike, I want to ask you a couple of things. First of all, we're going to roll in some video here of some really giant blue catfish. Talk us through a couple of these. First of all, these are some like 70-pound class fish we're looking at, right?
Yeah, actually, the one that Terry's got is actually a 68-pound blue that she caught. This fish here was actually caught in less than 10 foot.
Wow.
There's days that we catch 10 fish over 40 pounds.
Talk about some of the other lakes that you can do this. Tawakoni's a great lake, but there are lakes scattered all across the southeast that you can do this as well.
Absolutely. You've got all the lakes in Oklahoma that hold blue catfish are good. I'm thinking of like Fort Gibson, even Eufaula. All your lakes on the Tennessee River chain are good.
So that would be Kentucky Lake, Pickwick, any of those kind of lakes that got those deep ledges?
Absolutely. And then if you get into the Carolinas, you got Santee Cooper and some of the lakes up along those rivers that are also great, that are putting out huge fish. You take a look at Zach and what he's doing. And
Zach Royce,
yeah,
who broke the North Carolina state record for blue cat twice within, what, 48 hours or something?
Yeah, actually, I think it's closer to 24 hours. Really, the best thing to do is get out on your local lake, use fresh bait, cover the water, fish the structure. You can drift or you can fish on anchor and get some really big fishing line, because you might just catch a walk.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lew's, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Jean LaRue Bass Baits and Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leaders in soft plastic lures innovation. And Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Oh, look at this. Oh, don't get off. He swam in the net. He swam in the net. Look at this. Got him. Got a fish. Oh, that feels like a good pull. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Fox Sports Outdoors today. Blue catfishing on Lake Tawakoni in East Texas. And I've hit into something here. We're drift fishing. You can see right over here, Mike and Terry Littlejohn are with us. And we've gone back to drifting again. Oh, she's got one too. Look at this, we got devils. You've got to really take your time with these fish. I've got a brand new rod and reel set up, using for the very first time. It's a brand new one that Lew's has come out with. It's actually for striper fishing, but it's perfect for what we're doing. Boy, this is just a big dead weight. He just surges every once in a while.
You're hooked up like a tow truck.
Oh, here he comes. Oh man, what a good fish. Easy, easy, easy. Get back to me, I'm gonna get the net. Oh, look at this. Oh, don't get off. He swam in the net. He swam in the net, look at this. I can hardly get him in the boat. Golly. All right, you guys still got yours?
Oh, yeah, nice.
Another good one. Another good one.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, you pull them out of that deep water, they kind of get the bends too, don't they?
They kind of do. Sometimes you got to burp them.
Oh man, what a pig. Look at this. Look at this. What a toad. Oh man, that is what you do right there when you're fishing for these big trophy blues. That's a trophy one right there. What a giant. And I am so happy about that. Well, we're not even going to take the time to weigh him. We're just going to show him and get this fish back in the water, because we don't want to kill any of these trophy fish. There you go right there. That's all I can do to hold this fish up. All right, here goes Terry releasing. When they caught, fan her around a little bit, and away she goes and straight down. Golly, what a pig. Man, oh, she's wanting to go already. There she swims right under the boat. All right, we did it. What a blast. All right, I'm gonna catch my breath. That's by far the biggest blue catfish I've ever caught. What a giant. Recoup here a little bit. Here's some fish in the lake reports for you.
Hi folks, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Ulrich Cabins. A family-owned, Texas-based business, Ulrich stands ready to build your dreams, whether you want a lake house, hunting cabin, or just a place for the family to relax, dream, and enjoy. Visit the website mytexascabin.com for details on a limited-time discount offer available only to Lone Star Lakes viewers. Now it's bass fishing time in Texas, and we're going to start with smallmouth bass on lakes Texoma and Belton. Smallies are moving up to spawn, and you'll find them in 12 feet of water or less. Look for areas where basketball-sized rocks transition to smaller rocks and pebbles and gravel, and you'll find your smallies. Use your jerk baits in either black chrome, blue chrome, or your gold and black colors, or use the soft plastic jerk baits in a pearl white, a bubblegum, or a watermelon red. Now Lake Whitney used to be a great smallmouth lake, but it's now known more for striper fishing, and they're catching a bunch of them. Guides are using live bait, but if you don't want to throw a cast net, go ahead and use your jig head with a shad body, something like a Bass Assassin. White, chartreuse, or white and chartreuse. Look for the big schools of bait fish, drop those baits down, you'll catch some Whitney stripers. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Ulrich Cabins. Be sure and check out mytexascabin.com for exclusive offers for our Lone Star Lakes viewers. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus, the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit portaransas.org. Well, spring break in Texas and mild weather could mean having to fish less pressured areas to beat the crowd. Just remember to have a game plan with options to adjust. Use a chart, get your weather forecast, tide and cylinder tables to develop your plan. Now in Galveston, this might mean fishing the jetties where some near double-digit sheep's head are being caught. The black drum run is going on over most of the coast, with sight casting opportunities along the middle and lower coast, as well as places to anchor or drift on the upper coast. Try around the Texas City Dike. Now in the back lakes, if they're crowded, work the shorelines or barrier islands. Plus, don't forget the Intercoastal Waterway. It's a good place that provides transition areas from shallow to deep. Deeper areas are still holding fish, like the Brownsville Ship Channel and the Arroyo on the lower coast, or the Causeway Reef on Sabine Lake. This weekend, Saturday has a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides. This Sunday is a single tide schedule of 1 high and 1 low. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday at 5:30, or catch the repeat airing Saturday morning at 8. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button. And see lots of our how-to and product videos by selecting the how-to button. Join our online fishing community. Just click the like button on our Facebook page for access to daily posts with lots of fishing news, videos, and frequent giveaways. And stay up to date with all the latest fishing information and photos by following our Twitter feed. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Motor Guide, because accuracy matters. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And Excite Technologies, powering the world forward.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Neil would like to know, when would you swim a jig instead of bouncing it off the bottom? We asked 4-time Bassmaster Classic angler O.T. Fears for the answer.
On jig fishing, a lot of questions come up about, do I swim it? Do I bottom bounce it? And a lot of times you have to let the fish tell you, let the bass tell you what they want. In shallow water, say 10 foot or less, I usually swim the bait. Oftentimes I swim the bait and do very little hopping. When it gets deeper than that, it's hard to keep in contact with the bottom on swimming a jig, so you have to let it go to the bottom and hop it. And the size of the hop, you have to let the fish tell you how much. Sometimes they want it 3 or 4 feet hopping. Sometimes they only want it an inch or 2. So you have to let the fish tell you what they want.
Thanks, OT. If you have a question for one of the anglers, visit our website, follow the Ask the Pro link on the right side of the page, and let us know. Now, one of our viewers wins a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Every week, right here on our show, someone wins a free pair of Costa sunglasses in the Costa Catch of the Week contest. And here is this week's winner. He is Cooper Smith of Belton, Texas, with a 30-inch red snapper he caught out of the Gulf of Mexico off Corpus Christi, Texas. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click in the Costa Catch of the Week area on the front page, follow the instructions to send us your photo, and you just might be our next winner. And if you'd like to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, go back to the front page of our site, click on the Costa logo, and you'll see all of the frame styles and lens styles that Costa offers, including the frame style that I was wearing on this week's episode called Motu. Next up, here's the Santee Cooper rig that a lot of big trophy blue cat fishermen use, including a lot of guides. It starts with my 20-pound main line. They will go heavier. It's got a big snap swivel on it. Then they've got a bead to protect your knot, a barrel swivel, 60-pound test leader, about 2.5 feet of it. They peg a little cork bobber about 6 inches above a circle hook, and that's critical for lip hooking these big blue cats. You may have been watching an NFL football game this past season where Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott flipped his empty paper cup toward the trash can and missed. You may not have seen when he got up, walked over, picked that trash up, and put it in the trash can. Over 30 years ago, Robert Fulghum wrote the New York Times #1 best-selling book, All I Really Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. We learn many of our important morality traits at a very young age. I've got to believe that if someone of the stature of Dak Prescott would walk over and make sure that he put it in the trash, his character, even beyond that, must be pretty darn solid. So the question that you and I need to ask ourselves is this: what do we do when we miss the trash? I hope you enjoyed our trip today to Lake Tawakoni, Texas, catching these big blue catfish, and I hope you learned some of the techniques that you'll need to catch them at a lake near you. You're looking at Mike and Terry Littlejohn's contact information one more time if you'd like to get in touch with them and come here. But I promise you, these big blue cats swim all across our Southwest, Southeast regions, and you can go catch one, a big giant trophy of your very own. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Until then, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.